Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the first video of the year. So for this video, I really wanted to do a 2023 recap, but I didn't just want to sit here and talk to you. It's kind of boring sometimes. So I also want to show you how I reset my main living areas for 2024. So I'm going to talk your ear off while you watch me clean. I'll tell you, I really went into this 2023 being extremely hopeful. I had so many goals, so many aspirations, and then the way that it just went downhill for no apparent reason was just phenomenal. I can't really pinpoint any one singular thing that was in the beginning of the year not super amazing. It was just a kind of stressful blah year. I was really struggling with seasonal depression. Trigger warning, there's going to be so much talk about mental health in this. Anxiety, depression, ADHD, suicidal ideations. It's just what I talk about on this channel. So if any of that bothers you, please watch accordingly. I was really struggling with seasonal depression and coming out of that, and my home reflected it, and it affected every single part of me. As you can tell, we are going into 2024 with a lot of the same clutter issues. So yeah, this is what my house looks like on December 31st, 2023. Still a mess, still cluttered. I'm working on it though. That is one of my main and top priorities of 2024. Good Lord. Is to get it under control, because it takes such a huge toll on my mental health. That is one thing that I think affected me just throughout the entire year, which is why I have shared it so much with you guys about not being able to find cleaning routines, struggling to just pick up every single day, making small changes every day to make it into a big habit. I've really struggled with that this year in cleaning and eating habits, just basically every aspect of my life I really struggled with. So I do think that seasonal depression had a lot to do with it in those beginning months. And I own my own business with my sister. We are dog groomers. Well, she's the groomer, I'm the assistant. But it's just us running the whole ship, and honestly, finances are always extremely stressful. I was kind of forced to go on some state assistance this year. This is not something I've ever opened up about on my channel, because I hold a lot of shame with that, even though I shouldn't. But when I had my son, I was 21 years old and I had state assistance, and I was young, and I understood then why I needed it and why I had it. As I've gotten older, I worked my way out of it. I went to school, got a degree, got jobs that I didn't need the assistance any longer. However, 2022 was a really hard year financially. So the end of that year, I applied for assistance for 2023. And I'm so thankful that I have been able to get help, but it took me back to a very dark place 10 years ago where I felt like I was taking 100 steps back when I had worked so hard to get myself out of that position. So that took a major toll on my mental health. I felt like a failure. Granted, I shouldn't feel that way. I know that I shouldn't feel that way. However, it took me back to some time and some places that I didn't really want to go back to yet. So it forced my therapist and I to talk about a lot of trauma that I hadn't uncovered yet. And it just resurfaced all these old things, and they were really hard to work through. If you know, I have a history of domestic violence. I have a video all about it on my channel. I'll link it in the cards and in the description. When you're resurfacing things that you're not quite ready for, and there's also all these other kind of things happening on top of all of that, you just go to some pretty dark places. So I started this channel in 2020 because I was on a journey to health with keto, and it was just about my physical health, not about my mental health or anything like that. And it has completely taken a 180, and it has just been focusing about mental health and honestly just trying to survive, and showing what real life struggles are right now. And It's been a really real year, but I know I haven't been as real with you guys as I should be. Just because I pride myself in being extremely authentic with you and extremely open, because I think it's important that we see each other's struggles. So for 2023, I honestly just really tried to survive and make ends meet and deal with bills as they came and try to make the most of everything. Tried to get out of my own head, tried to make better eating habits, better routines. Like, nothing stuck though. I just felt like I was sitting there throwing things at a wall, just seeing if something would stick to help. Like, and honestly, nothing really stuck. I'm going into 2024 being the heaviest weight that I've ever been, probably the saddest that I've been in a while, and just all around blah. You know, I'm not feeling great. I didn't set goals for 2024 yet, because looking back at 2023, if I would have known what it was going to entail mentally for me, I would have just put on there just survive. Now, I did, however, feel like I found what I enjoy sharing with you guys, because for a while there, I was putting my worth on my weight and the scale going down, because as the scale went down, my numbers on YouTube went higher. So that also took a huge toll. That was something that happened in 2022 that just really hit me mentally, which is why I definitely relapsed with my binge eating disorder. Binge eating was also a very huge thing that happened for me again this year. I tried to get control of it, but I could only focus on so many things at a time, and I had to prioritize my mental space for other things, and I could not focus on eating well or trying to cut back on sugar and carbs, even though it directly like affects my mental health. Like it was just kind of a crap show. So I just didn't even have the mental space for that, which honestly really sucks. And I got really tired of saying, I'm ready to start again, I'm ready to be healthy again. Like, I can only tell myself I'm gonna start so many times when I'm not really in it. You know what I mean? Like, when you just know that you're not going to accomplish it in the little back of your mind, where you're like, okay, maybe if I do it one more time. I just needed to stop that. So I kind of stopped doing that like in the middle of May. I was just like, all right, you just got to focus on what you can focus on. Just try not to eat yourself into oblivion, I guess. I guess let's talk about the elephant in the room, the bed. This is my office. If you've been following me for a while, it's been my office for forever. However, in November, my boyfriend and I decided to end things. But obviously we have Kelly. He is not his biological father, but he calls him dad, like that's his father figure. So we are obviously living together for a while until we figure out what that looks like. But I got myself a bed and moved into my office, because this is the room that's always felt the most like me to me. This bed takes up 98% of it. But that's okay. So that's also been something that I have really been struggling with, and trying to navigate. I don't want to go into too much detail because it's not just my story, but there was nothing like malicious on either side that happened. It just, I don't know, kind of fell apart. And we tried to put it back together, but bigger pieces just kept falling off. So been working through that the last couple of months, and obviously leading up to that it was a struggle and So, looking at 2024, I have no idea what it's gonna hold for me, what it's gonna look like, where I'm gonna be. Like I said, this year was a struggle financially, so I don't know. 2023 was a struggle financially, so who knows, like, what 2024 is gonna bring. I hope it brings better things. Yeah. This is like this right here. This is a representation of what 2023 looks like. Me with my emotional support water bottle, just crying. It's basically what the whole 9 months of this year has looked like. Yeah. So, on a little bit of a happier note of things, right? 2024, new year, new possibilities. Right now, for me, it looks bleak, but I know that it will turn around and it will be a great year. I mean, there was great things in 2023. I'm not going to say that there wasn't. I started doing agility with my dog. And that's something that I truly poured a lot into because it was just such a fun sport and he's so good at it. So that was a beautiful thing. I went on vacation to Florida. That can't just be the only two things that I'm happy for. And I'm really happy that I set boundaries and upheld them this year. That was one of my huge goals that I had from last year. So yeah, there was good things in 2023. It just kind of has this gray cloud over it, you know. It was just a really tough year. But I'm very happy I've met a lot of new friends on here. Thank you so much for being here and joining me on this journey. I am really excited to continue to share things with you. So looking at 2024, I usually set a lot of goals at the beginning of the year, or just goals, right? I am just going to quietly enter 2024 and I am going to do my best. And I did choose a word for the year because I chose a word for the year last year and it was authentic. And I do feel like I showed up as my authentic self 90% of the time. There was just some things that I didn't talk about in the moment, which I'm sure you guys understand. This year, I think that I want to be more consistent. That was my other word for the year. I picked 2 last year, but I was not consistent with anything. I was consistently breaking down. I mean, I guess I was consistent in that way because that was the only thing that was ever a constant. Last year, it was just crying and just having mental breakdowns every 5 seconds. So this year, I would like to be consistent more so with my content for you guys. Also with just showing up for my son, consistently doing my best with my eating disorder, consistently doing better with my mental health. I also didn't have my therapist for 3.5 months of last year because she's on maternity leave. So I'm very excited to get back into consistent therapy when she's off of maternity leave. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I do think 2024 will be better. I'm just going in all like a quiet little mouse, just walking through, not touching anything on the shelves. I'm gonna try not to break anything this year, because Lord knows it did last year. I just want to thank you guys so much for being here and so much for following me. I know that a lot of you can relate to a lot of the things that I am going through, which is why I share them. So thank you guys so much, and I am so excited for what this year has to hold, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.